I cannot refund you your money.
Why not? You sound you are. I requested a call.
Get the out the car. What the is wrong with you? You got the right.
All right, this was a recent altercation between an Uber driver, Miracle Smith, and her passenger, Tabitha Turner. It ended after Smith allegedly pepper sprayed Turner and forcibly removed her from the car. Now, attorney for Turner plans to file a class action lawsuit against Uber. Smith was issued a misdemeanor battery charges and was removed as an Uber driver. It's a scary scene, but there are ways to avoid being caught. Are there ways of being caught in a similar situation or altercation? And it's important to know both sides, both rights, right? With us now is Dr. Thaddeus Johnson. He's from Georgia State's Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology, and is also a long-time law enforcement officer. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, break this down for us now. What's the legal and ethical standpoint where the line is between a driver's right to feel safe and a passenger's right to fair treatment?
No, absolutely, and I'm glad that you're covering and talking about both sides of it because it's things that the passenger can do, things that the driver can do. In general, as a passenger, this is a private transportation contract. You're not detained, right? As long as the vehicle is safe to stop, you can request to be let out, even mid-trip. And you have a right to ask the driver to pull over and let you out in a safe, lit public area like a parking lot or a store. And no explanation is even really needed, right? You have a right to feel safe and in control of your experiences. Drivers must comply. No, these rideshares prohibit them from forcing you to stay at the car. If a driver refuses to let you out, it can be considered false imprisonment. And to that point, if you feel unsafe, call 911 and things like that. They also have Share My Trip types of apps within the app, so you can let your family members or emergency contacts track you as you drive. So those are just some things that as a rider you can do. If you're a driver, first of all, you cannot forcibly remove anybody from the vehicle, and you have a right to feel safe in your own vehicle. And so these things are so important. So don't escalate, don't argue, don't use force, perhaps don't use pepper spray, right? Maintain a calm tone and let them know you're in the trip for safety reasons. And you choose an appropriate location so they can be safe, like a gas station or a store. So you have rights on both sides. If you're a driver, use your dash cam. Both of you all document everything and try not to escalate things that involve law enforcement when necessary.
You mentioned that you can't forcibly remove someone from your own vehicle as a driver. At that point, should she have gotten maybe out of the car herself and left her there and then called 911? Is that how that should work? Yeah,
so there's various ways, but if I was the driver in this situation, right, I'm playing literally Monday morning quarterback.
Right.
The one thing that perhaps you can do is if you can't get across, if you can't reconcile, simply I would cut the vehicle off, put it in a park, cut the vehicle off, let the windows down, and I would stand on the side of the road. I will call the rideshare company and contact them, and I will also call law enforcement because I have a person who will not leave my vehicle. So those are things that you can do to protect yourself. Do not take the law into your own hand. We have trained professionals for that.
Gotcha. All right, so looking at this video, right, and you got two parties telling two different stories. How much of a role is that video going to play in getting this solved?
No, this is why I said document everything. Without that video, it would have just been here, she say versus she say, right? And that's necessarily good and hard to prove. And so what the video allows us to see is what escalated the situation, who perhaps was the aggressor, if the self-defense argument was appropriate, if there was evidence for it. So it allows and protects both sides and allows law enforcement and the rideshare company to kind of figure out what happened. Also, if there's a civil suit, this is going to come into play very, very importantly in this particular matter because this evidence shows how things played out and not just a snapshot in time.
When is the pepper spray okay when you feel like your life is threatened? If there was something that could cause either party, right, to begin to use something, right? When their life feels threatened, is that okay or never okay?
Well, so one thing is that OC and pepper spray is not necessarily considered a lethal in general, a lethal weapon, right, or deadly force. So that's one reason why the driver was charged with a misdemeanor
Gotcha.
and not a felony.
Hmm.
However, if this plays out and say you're sprayed with the pepper spray and pushed out of the vehicle, or you feel like someone is trying to assault you, then you have an imminent fear of threat of a bodily harm or death. And now that can kind of move into that spectrum of when does it become the perception of life and death. But in general, we do not consider OC or pepper spray to be a deadly force type of weapon.
Wow, that's excellent to know. Excellent to know. Some very good points, Dr. Thaddeus. Really appreciate your insight on this. We may have you back depending on how this case goes, because there's still a lot of questions, obviously. People wanting to know what their rights are as far as being a driver and also a passenger. And in this particular case, it's kind of like either way, right? It goes kind of up and down.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes to show why try to de-escalate, try to document, try to communicate, and understanding that if you're not happy with your driver, you can simply cancel the ride, get a refund through the company, report the driver about their vehicle and things, and then move on with your lives. You may be delayed a little bit, but we won't be covering this on the news.
Gotcha. Absolutely right. Dr. Thaddeus Johnson, really appreciate you joining us and your insight. Thanks so much.